Is this what it means to move through life, breathless, almost always on the cusp of choking on and then through the air? Seems a dangerous way to live, but what else is there? At the crossroads, until our moment of intersection, I am still quiet and quite with feeling, watching as the cars fly past, each breaking what feels to me like barriers of time and speed. They move on in the directions of the four winds, and for a brief moment, I am part of their day's agenda, and they mine. She enters into my periphery, and it takes a moment before I fully realize the movements of her body thundering toward me. Then, more seconds before I understand the pursing of her lips, her mouth full of language, angry with meaning, all in motion toward me. I brace myself for impact, believing she means to hurl us both into the hurried mass of unceasing traffic. For this has been the way of late in my city. Bodies filled with feeling, attaching themselves to others until they get our attention. I steadied myself, but I met instead with the impact of her words. Someone has hurt this black woman today, has told her she was unwelcome, that nothing, it seems, on these streets and stretches of gentrified Brooklyn belonged to her in any way, and it has unmoored her. Her voice, booming in its baritone, begins a naming out loud of the streets as she knew them, as she remembered them. Walking, talking, flourishing a single finger, she artfully and architecturally restores what used to be there in the before the coffee houses and beer gardens and artisanal bread stores and patisseries. Someone, she screams, has stolen her life, and then evicted her from even the memory of it. How dare you, she screamed, her Rubenesque frame now moving past me into the oncoming four-wind traffic, stopping not even for the rules of polite society. I cease worrying now about my own demise, become instead fearful of witnessing hers, for she means to continue on without interruption, her proselytizing necessary to her hurt and to the listener. My sister, I think, oh, I know you're feeling this bubbling up of the wound. I do not want you to die today, but I cannot make my limbs move. Neither can I motion my lips to part, for this is all happening in slow motion and therefore happening much too fast. Before I know it, she is on the other side of our divide, having made it through and in between. Every car, bus, and truck are at a full stop, now yielding to the might of her black body, which was the point that day, I guess. The unison understanding of us all, that finally, in her favor, something had to give. So I'm going to read something from Attraversiamo. Let's cross over. This is my favorite subway poem, and it's called The Beast. I am seeking a respite from my inner child here, but I guess we all are. Who are we kidding? The huddled masses yearning to be free take up refuge on the underbelly of an underground, uptown, downtown, anything, headed anywhere but where we are going. And just where are we going, anyway? Set adrift like loose change from a pocket, uncomfortably close and well-meaning, waiting to be useful, to make sense. I'm thinking these things, all while colliding into my neighbor's memories and recollections. Group therapy for $2.50. A swipe of a thinly veiled piece of plastic. I read these people as if they were my own. And I guess they are like me. a two-headed mixture of dread and inspiration, and the faintest scent of hope. A dangerous combination to mix with musk and metal. It's too easy and combustible, and yet they keep coming, telling lies and keeping secrets, selling their wares. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? And I'm like, what? What now? What socio-economical, ethnically disenfranchised, politically embattled group needs me now? Who must I stand in the gap for now? I am on my way to my own destination. I am my own embattled group, a mess of ideas and longings, and you are interrupting the even exchange and fast and free-flowing body of ideas between me and my fellow citizens. Can't you see the gentleman seated next to me has not bathed in days? Not lately, not at all. In his recent understanding of time and space, the very nature of the world as he knows it, tucked gently around him, protruding from the holes of each trash bag. It's not safe to be this disconnected. He from us, we from him. I breathe. Inhale. Deeply. With intent. For him, I want to be responsible. Across from me, an unforgiving woman is in her feelings, needing, waiting for a moment to lash out into the void of this confined space, looking at the midtown women about her, giant designer bags and two high-heeled shoes and an iPhone full of necessary ideas to pass the time. Her contempt for them has no boundaries. She assumes at their joy. Oh, look at us. Threadbare, lined up, seated, leaning, each of us searching through and around each other. We long for magic. God help us if we ever find it. Catch a whiff of it bouncing up off of the stained station walls or playing tag with the fluorescent lights. There might just be a riot. And all of us, oh, we just might will pry open these pretend closed doors while still in transit. Waddle through the dark sewage, baptizing ourselves along the way. Take the stairs, maybe 2, 3 at a time, up out into the promised sunshine, and we all might just keep walking, keep right on walking until the earth changes its trajectory, spins us off into a new, a different horizon, one where we are everyone's keeper, not a victim of their silence, set to music in this confined space. But until then, I sit silently, inserting myself into the lives of each of my neighbors, wondering at their machinations, then decide to search yet again for another dollar that I barely have. Oh, but thank God it's catchy, for we are all doing the same.